Happy Monday, friends. Welcome to the You Are Worthy Network. Hope everyone had a tremendous weekend and got to do some relaxing things and some things that you enjoyed after a hard work week. I can't talk today. But I am delighted to be with you guys. I'm excited to introduce our guest to you here in just a second. Just a reminder, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I did put a poll out maybe an hour or two ago, and would love for you guys to give your feedback on that poll because we want to know why you joined the group. That way we can better serve you moving forward. I anticipate that a lot of it is because of the one-on-one interviews like we're getting ready to do here in just a second, which I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on that, and I anticipate today will be no different. So welcome to the You Are Worthy Network. Like I said, I want to introduce you to our fabulous guest this afternoon. Let me read a little bit about Esther to you. Esther says, I'm married to my dear husband, Tom, for 37 years this month. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm a mother of four wonderful adult children and grandmother to two babies. I live in the Monterey, California area where I was born. I enjoy being outdoors and have found a calling in health coaching. I love the transformational process which occurs when someone becomes healthy. More confidence, energy, and ability to serve others at a higher level. I focus on busy women who are 40 plus to lose weight using my nutrition plans. I have a plan which helps women lose 12 to 20 pounds in 90 days with support after reaching their goal. I have helped hundreds of women in the past 5 years. I love every part of it, and being a coach has brought me joy, purpose, finances, and kept me accountable to growing my health and wellness skill sets. Esther Beal, welcome to the You Are Worthy Network.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you as well. It's
Yeah,
great to see you.
thank you.
I definitely want to ask you a couple of questions about your growing family here in a second, but just so our viewers know, I met Esther maybe 6 to 9 months ago, somewhere in that time frame, when we were both in a coaching cohort together,
Hmm.
a business coach that we trusted for our next level of our business, who was just tremendous help to
Hmm.
both of us and helped us with our mindsets, helped us with our strategy, all kinds of things. But that's how I got to know Esther. And Esther, I found to be in that cohort extremely detailed, extremely warm, and extremely encouraging to the rest of us in the group. And so I have no doubt that she's going to come across that way to you as well this afternoon. But Esther, you're in California and you got this growing family. Tell us about the family and how it's growing.
Yes, I in the last 7 years I launched my three children to adulthood. One got married. Last my youngest is now in her senior year of college and doing great and has like a defined path to what she's doing in finance and corporate work. And so I have pretty sure she's launching right out to work. And then my second daughter is in a relationship. She's living up in the Bay Area and she's doing great. And I find myself catching up with all my kids now in my free time. It's like we have free time during the week, and then the weekends we're within 2 hours north and south of all our children, but one lives on the west side of San Francisco Bay, and the other on the east side, and the other down south. And then I have one daughter in Chicago who's married, so we have gone out there. So I keep busy in a different way. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
been
sounds like
fun.
it.
And then um, Wednesday's my 37-year anniversary with my husband, so it's just really amazing. I feel like a kid. So I remember
Ah,
my dad told me is you grow older, but your mind doesn't. And so it feels like that, feels like my body's and have the energy, but my mind is still really active.
oh, congratulations on
Thank
37
you.
years. That's incredible.
Yeah, it goes quick. when you were, yeah,
Yeah,
been
I've got
great.
number 30 next summer, so I do get it. It does go fast.
Oh, good. That's gonna be fun.
So let me make sure I understood you right. So you're kind of in the center of the grandbabies. There's one north and one south. Is that what I heard?
Oh no, they're with the same as my son who has two grand of the grandchildren. He's the only one. Well, no, the others in Chicago's married, but not having kids right now. And one is like 5 months old, and the others are just over two. So they're pretty close in age.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's super fun. Super fun. I just think about them all the time. Couldn't,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a blast right there. That's a great, great stage of life that you're in. And
It's
you,
fun, and it's really great to have your help because they need all, you're getting off the ground holding a baby, it's just really amazing, just to have your vitality.
yeah, exciting time.
Hmm.
So you're in sunny California. What do you like to do for fun?
I'm pretty like, I like to have a schedule that I follow, but if I have free time, I'm out either hiking, walking, or going along the beach once a week this summer. I knew I was going to be busy because we just moved. So I went to the beach every week at a hotel that had these like outdoor areas, and I'd read a book for an hour and hear the ocean crash. Because I was so busy, and maybe like you are really busy right now, that I knew if I didn't take some downtime, like I wouldn't have like any memory of the summer. And the other thing I like to do is I just started pickleball once a week. I'm pushing myself to do that because there's so many people. I'm a social person, and so many people I know are playing pickleball. So I've been getting myself to the pickleball court once a week to up my skill in it. And it's fun, really nice people. So I've been having fun with that, but I can't say I'm in love with it. I don't not like it, but I think if I have an hour, I'd rather go for a nice walk up in the hills where I live.
I see.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've heard so many people talk about pickleball and how they love it, and they love the social aspect, they love the fitness aspect, and it
Oh,
is definitely growing leaps and bounds.
they are so nice. Like it's such a great community of people. Like they're just so helpful. So that is just tremendous. And yeah, it's a great place to be more social, and it's just fun. It's crazy how nice everybody is, to be honest. Like it's a way, like people in tennis, it takes a lot more skill. With pickleball, you can pick it up pretty quick. And if anyone has played was that paddleball? Like there was a kid that was
Yeah.
playing with us, and he had played paddleball, and he was really good actually, because there's different skills you can transfer over. So very fun. It's super fun, no brainer. Kind of just have fun, really fun.
I, I, I need to give it a try because
A
I'll speak.
consistent try.
Well, that's the problem is, but I think what I would like about it is the fact, and I'm speaking for me, like I used to like tennis when I was younger. I haven't
Hmm.
played it in years, but I would think the reason I would like pickleball is there's still the competitive side of it, but you don't have as much ground to cover, and that's a good thing as you're getting older, right? You don't have to
Yeah,
run as far.
yeah. And I'm a former tennis, like I have tennis skills, and it comes in handy. You got to relearn a different way of scoring, but yeah, I would say giving it like once a month for 6 months is a try. Like one time out in the court, it's sort of like my first time playing golf was I hit par and I thought I was a superstar. And then after that, I was like, oh, this is hard, So you can't really judge it. Like the more times I go, um, on a consistent basis, like 2 times a month or something like that, the more I get more, I guess, connected to the people. So like I said, I got the first time I tried it was like they do these pickleball socials, and they're super fun. And so and that was easy. You all start at one level. It's like that ladder where you go up based on every time you win, you go up a little bit. So
Mhm,
that's a
mhm.
good way to start. But yeah, if you have some tennis
Yeah.
skills, you should definitely try it.
Well, you brought up golf, so now we have to move on because that's not as pleasant a topic for me. So, I'm just giving you a hard time. So, you've been health coach for a while now, but I'd like to go back. What was your background professionally before becoming a health coach?
Okay, good question. I for 14 years I worked in the field of insurance. I worked in life insurance, and then I rolled into corporate health insurance. And at the peak of my career, before I had a family, I was a vice president running a employee benefits division, and that was 1996. So that was when I ended my corporate career work. I always tell people today, like back then, we had like massive computer screens, on the desk. There wasn't portable computers. There wasn't this like, oh, I can work 2 days at home. It was so for 3 years, my husband and I, we really saved our money and realigned our finances so I could live on one income. And then I became a stay-at-home mom, for the next 25 years or so. And then during that time, I became a homeschooling mom. And I hadn't any idea that that would be what I'd be doing. I didn't even know about it. But yet, that's what I felt. And my husband, just based on the people we met that are homeschooling their kids and the relationship they had with their children was different. And we liked it. I don't know, just things really just kept pulling at our hearts. My husband works from home. So that was a really big job, actually. And
Mhm.
it used to not be it was a little bit more mainstream then than it was when people would have to hide. But and I had a great community, but like now it's I think a lot more under people can relate to it and understand how it works. There's a lot more awareness socially about it. So it was I mean, just the richest time of my life was the time educating and supporting my children in their journey. So I feel like everything we do builds on something else. But the cool part was I got to be re-educated because like when you're teaching your kids, you get like a re-education. And I ended up finding out that I loved history because I had just learned it like in my school, at least here, you just read a textbook and you take tests. But this method that we used was reading about people, individuals, and I just fell in love with it. And I realized history was something I didn't know I loved. And so that's been, for example, one of the books I read this summer wasn't a history book, but it's always usually something about history when I have free time. And then
Excellent. So,
health coaching became something down the road, when different opportunities came up.
yeah, I definitely want to get to that here in just a second. But yeah,
Yep.
you mentioned the social aspect of homeschooling, and I just want to, as a parent that has, I always joke about this when people ask where our kids go to school. We say we homeschool them. The we is very outstated because it's my wife doing 99.9% of it. I have played principal here and there over the years. I've signed documents over the years, but she's done the bulk of the teaching. Now, my kids, I've got one out of the house and I've got one that's a senior and one that's a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
So it's evolved to, my wife not having to be as hands-on, but nevertheless, she has taken them all the way through, which is remarkable. But
Mm-hmm.
I know there's folks that get concerned about the social aspect. And I
Mm-hmm.
understand why to some degree, but I personally have always thought it was over exaggerated a little bit. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, my youngest, the freshman, I mean, he has soccer practice with a homeschool soccer team, and
Yeah.
they play public schools. He has soccer practice 3 times a week. He usually has a game once a week. He just got back from a dance with the homeschooling community and a bunch of other schools. It's like the kid's so busy socially. I'm like, I don't know what people are talking about. And he goes
Well,
to
I think
and he goes
yeah.
to co-op twice a week too with other kids.
Oh, that's the best. That's exactly good socialization. I don't know because I'm not in their head, but as a concerned parent, you do what you think is what you know is best. And we actually used activities for all our socialization. They had fun times at home. My son could knock out of school by 9 or 10 in the morning, and he could pursue his interest. And now he's like a professional videographer. And some of the things he was doing in high school, he was already, now it's what he's doing at 27. But yeah, we kept him super active, and I do think that's important because otherwise they will feel like disconnected with society. But I think it's a healthy way because sitting around being bored in a classroom, doing things that maybe are below your level or above your level, that is frustrating. Like we've been in program, maybe different ones where like, oh my gosh, I remember there was a coaching program that I met our mutual coach at, and it was way above my level. Like I did fine, and I learned a lot, and I still look back and I'm like, it was just, I wasn't really ready for that. And that was really, really frustrating. And like, it makes you feel deflated. It makes you feel like you're not good enough. And that's the problem with group education is you really can't learn at your own level, which kills the love of learning. And the whole point of education is to create lifelong learners because you can't teach your kids everything. They say you can only teach them like 10%, you know? No, and no teacher can. Once I learned that, I was like, okay, good. I'm going to do my best. There are going to be some potholes, but that's their job to fill them in. It's not our job to make a perfect, seamless, perfect education, but have good memories, go on fun field trips, have friends that they do common interests with, like pickleball or not. I was on the pickleball court and there was a 16-year-old boy there and he was just like having a great time. He's a tall guy, like 6'3". And I thought he was in college. And then I figured out he was essentially homeschooled. And I was like, that's so
Mhm.
cool that you're out here with like people 50 plus and you can go out and have a good time. You go, it's so humbling. They're so good. So I think that peer education is lacking too because they don't have a broad view of culture. They have this very narrow view and they can't, I feel like homeschooling helped my kids relate to younger people, older people, and see people as people instead of only their peers. Felt that was really like something I didn't imagine when I was homeschooling. I didn't even think about. But they're super skilled with people, and like my son, for example, he met a guy a couple years ago and my son's 27. He got married at 25 and he had a friend in it like that's 70 years old as one of his men. I'm like, who does that? And he'd only known him 5 years, but he just felt really aligned. I'm like, that's because he had the ability to learn to make friends with everyone, because not just people his age.
Yeah, I love that. That's good.
So good for
Okay.
you. I didn't even know you. I probably knew you at homeschool, but I forgot about that. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, yeah, we believe in it wholeheartedly for
But
sure.
I'm gonna tell you something. It is a we. I couldn't have done what I did without my husband supporting me. So that's not true. You can't diminish your ability because it's a like it really is like a dual thing. That's the work and the not day to day is the whoever's focused on it, most likely a woman. So yeah.
I received that. I was just trying to give the credit to where credit's due. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah. I'm just so grateful to my husband that I got to. And sometimes when I felt like giving up, he was my encouragement.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want to, you only reason you feel like giving up is that it's becoming hard. So he's kind of like my coach. No, you can do this. We got it, honey.
That's a valid thing right there for sure.
Yeah. So because you're not as emotionally into it. There was even one point with my daughter. It was really one of my daughters. She had a really hard time learning. And I got to the point where, honey, I think you need to do the math with her. She was like senior, and you need to tutor her. And I go, because I think it's ruining my relationship with her. And that was a great shift. I feel like that's where the we comes together. You find like if you're not making success with that, or you find a tutor or whatever. But yeah, you got me going off onto homeschooling. It was really the
Yeah,
best years of my
I
life.
opened the door.
Yeah.
So let's transition into what you do. Um, when and how did you get into health coaching?
It started because after I experienced um, the effects of having a health coach and a program to follow. and I succeeded in an area that I had been failing for 8 years on my own. So then I actually had quite a few of my friends asking me, like just people I knew in the community, a friend I'd see from college or that kind of thing. What did I do? Oh my gosh, I would like to know more because I've been struggling too. And, it's one of those unspoken things that people don't talk about to everybody. They just quietly are at home trying to figure it out or go on their diet again and succeed for a short time and go back to their old habits and fail. So I I just saw like a different person of me come through that I realized I felt compelled to help someone else, and then the program that I use does allow that as an option to support. And part of that is its design was similar to 12 steps in that if you succeed, part of your learning journey is to reach back and help another person. And it solidifies what you've learned. It solidifies um, a bit great, impacting your community and essentially building your own little tribe of people that they're in your sphere. So, and as I kept doing that, 5 people, 10 people, I just realized, wow, this is really rewarding work. And I didn't even know that this was an occupation or was an option. And it was super flexible, work from home, work in between my hours. So certainly success in business requires consistency and effort and things like that. So, but I realized that I felt like I was being tugged inside, like to help another person. And the gratitude I get from clients is, I still get messages back from people years later, like, thank you so much, this and that. And it's just really amazing. Not every single one, but I'm saying the ones that do take the time and realize I'm making not just a change, it's a change like a trajectory of their life. So I thought that was really cool because I never got that experience
Mhm.
with working in corporate insurance. I definitely felt I got that experience with homeschooling because I was like significantly impacting someone's life and it was deeply rewarding. And I feel the same with health coaching.
And it sounds like you're getting amazing results for your clients. Now, let me ask you, is what percentage of your clientele is in person versus virtual?
So it's like all virtual.
All of it's
But
virtual. Okay.
I mean, know people in person, but I've been doing this like 5 years, so most of my people I know, but people are watching. No, I mean, none of the support work I do is in person, but I have
Okay.
done in-person things with my clients that are local. Like we'd meet up and go on hikes, or we'd go have a lunch or things like that. But as a whole, like my business is the support side is virtual. So I like that too because I like to be flexible.
Yeah, that definitely helps for sure.
Yeah, good
Um,
question.
so tell us a little more about how you help your clients. In the bio, it said that you have your own nutrition plans. Are these recipes that you've collected from other people? Do you have some of your own? Tell us a little more about the nutrition.
Awesome. I'm partnered with Optavia. They are the parent company that actually scientifically designed the nutrition plans. And so I am following one of their plans based on where my clients at and their activity level and their goals. And then we have education. The support is me. We also have a phenomenal community to be a part of with mindset. And so it's the combination. What makes it unique and why it's different than doing it on your own is we are holistic beings. We're beings that are social. We need to we need multiple ways to keep ourselves growing and learning and thriving. And DIY we give up too early, you know, and we don't know if it was working or not. We don't really have someone to talk to kind of do a check and see what's going on. And we need belief, right, from others that it's possible. So, yeah, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't claim to be, but all the meals are simplified and takes the thinking power out of it. You just do X, Y, and Z, and then you get to focus on the real things, which are the foundational habits that also need to go with that.
So I love this. I have gotten away from the things that I know work. Actually, this is a fresh commitment to it. Actually, I just made this past Friday, so I'm only on day 4. But I, but here's where I'm going with that. I was amazed, and I've dieted, not dieted, but it's lifestyle, right? It's lifestyle change, and it's finding something that works for you. Again, to your point, to be consistent with, to have a community you can do it with. I was amazed from 2019 to 2021, those 2 years, not just the weight that came off, but how good I felt, how full I was from eating healthy. Like I'd look at that food and you wouldn't think that would fill you up, but it's amazing. Now, that, again, this is just me.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how lean meats and I didn't intend on going too far into the woods with this, but here we are. How much vegetables and a couple of good fruits a day is filling, and how much my body like craved it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when you're eating unhealthy, you may crave chocolate or you may crave a salty food or whatever. And it's real. You do crave it, but even I would say for me, 5 times more craving. Oh my gosh, the carrots, the celeries, the apple, the baked chicken instead of the fried chicken, and just how our bodies were designed for that healthier food. It's remarkable. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, it's hard to stay on that track, right? That's why we have the up and downs that so many people experience. But how have you been able to sustain the success with your clients?
Well, I don't, this is, I guess, a good, the clients have to take personal responsibility.
Yep.
And most of the time, um, this is usually, I think a lot of people thinks it's a one and done. We're complex beings. We have a lot of things that we need to undo and we need to redo. So I think it really first, let me go back to, like, somebody asked me why I got started. And I think if you don't anchor yourself on a why you're doing this, then you're likely to fluctuate.
Mhm.
So it's almost like a vow to yourself, not really a vow to God, but it's like, I'm not okay with this. And so for me, it was my waistline had gotten to an unhealthy place, and I realized I was at risk for all kinds of things like health, cardiac, insulin, more likely for diabetes. Like it was crazy. Like when I looked it up, I was like, I'm just not okay with that, especially for how hard I was trying. Like, so I need some help. So the success really comes from actually starting with a desire and a goal, like what's the problem, and remembering the problem, because I'm a person of faith. We always forget, our troubles once things get a little better, usually. And I use the momentum as people are getting better to focus on the foundational habits or 6 macro habits of health. So my clients all know that they have to work on their upping their skill set, and their skill set of their sleep, their skill set of their community, their skill set of their environment, the skill set of their emotional health and well-being. I just had a client the other day. I'm like, you know what? You need more support. You need probably a therapist too. Like, I'm not a therapist, but we can see like where the holes are. Um, and really, what's your heart? Where do you see yourself in 10 years or 5 years? And using that structural tension between the problem that you've decided, drawing the line in the sand. I'm not that person. I'm not going to put myself at that risk at 54 years old when my daughter at that time was only 16. I want to see her children, and I'd have kids for 10 more years. I'm just not okay with that. That was me. And I think
Mhm.
that's what happens with everybody is they have to be, but if you don't structure the foundation and restructure it, I think you just are going to continue to have this like up and down, up and down. It's like, it's a total shift of like,
Yeah.
so I got the weight off and I was hell bent on never going back because I felt like a different human, like you were saying, and I felt so good. And thankfully, the program had the education on the foundational habits. So, for example, I used to sleep 6 hours a night. I was busy. I was doing homeschool. I was busy. That was like my time. And then I learned that it was not healthy. I didn't know. It, I didn't know it was on social media. I didn't know anything about it. And I'm like, shoot. So now I sleep 7.5 to 8 hours a night. That was a huge shift. But that was a belief like I want health for the long run. And I didn't track my water. I now track my water, still track my water because I still don't, I just need a way to know I'm hitting goals. I worked on I'm not a victim. I am someone that plays above the line and not below the line. Again, that's from the structural principles of the program that I coach, which has played off in so many good ways in my other areas of life, not just my health. I didn't, and I've learned to approach a lot of things like, why did I eat that? Or why do I want that? And, um, and I just started seeing like taking care of my body was something that I should be doing as stewarding. It can, it's going to fall apart if I don't take care of it, right? And then I'm going to have the net effects. And then I think, as we open ourselves up to desiring something better, I think God shows you like, more resources, more things. And slowly over time, I let go of other things. Like I I barely like I won't like our church has donuts on Sunday. I used to want them and I absolutely don't want them anymore. But this is like 6 years later. It's taken time because I've learned what sugar does to my brain and I'm not okay with that. And that
Mhm.
um I used to have alcohol sometimes, but I saw the correlation that it was on my sleep. And I was like, I really like I feel better when I sleep all night. It would always wake me up. That's me. I don't know. Other people are different. So I feel like we're just like humans in process. And then if you always approach it like your journey, curious and open, like, okay, what didn't work and what's my motivation? And um, why, what's important to me in 5 years that I'm going to put the
Mhm.
work in? It's work to stay stuck. So the cool part was this program will work when you follow it, like a lot of things, right? If you follow it, it'll work. But it has the support, the structure, the nutrition plan. So it made it so simple. And so they've had success because the clients that had success embraced all aspects of the program. Does everyone? No. But they all, when you do anything partially, you get partial results, right?
That's right.
Yeah. But I want them to know that it's okay. You can come back at it. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm always coming back at things like with, like I said, like that thing. It wasn't even like I felt like I had a problem with alcohol, but I realized when I started seeing like I'd have a glass and I'd wake up at 3 in the morning, couldn't go back to sleep for a while, and that wasn't my normal pattern. I was like, huh, I don't think I want this anymore. Sleep's more important to
Mhm.
me. And I
Yeah.
feel good all the time. And and my husband will have a glass of wine and it's okay. There's no shame. But the cool thing is he'll even have less. I mean, barely. I would say, if anything, it's 2 glasses a month. It's not a big problem. But when you start seeing the correlation of how you feel better, and yeah, if you just focus on a weight loss without integrating your thoughts and your emotions, you're most likely going to be you're on a hamster wheel. Um, so my clients, I give them the tools and I guide them along and I help them go as far as they can based on how much time they have and how much energy, right? But I'm just
Yeah.
part of the journey with them. It doesn't I'm not, there's no like magic number. They get the facts, but at 50 pounds down, someone feels better, right? And that's a huge victory. So it's okay,
Mhm.
if they have 100 to lose, but they're only want to invest time to do 50, that's their own intrinsic. I'm okay with that. I've had people come back and like want to go farther, um, but depending on different things. So yeah. So I would
Mhm.
say the success is based on the effort on the individual.
Always,
Yeah.
always. You're just giving them tools. They have to use them. Um, so I ask people this question all the time because I'm listening to you talk about the success of your business. And when I say success, it's not just the financial part, it's
Mhm.
the passion that you have in helping your clients and the fulfillment in doing what God's called you to do. And it's
Mhm.
the freedom of having a business where you get to be flexible and spend time with the kids and the grandbabies in this special season of life. So that's what I mean by success. But I also know I'd be naive to think there wasn't a time when things weren't so great. Maybe you didn't feel worthy of that success that you enjoy now. Is there a particular time you could tell us about when that was the case?
Yeah, I feel that the lowest point was when I decided on my health journey in my life, when I look back, because I struggled with saying yes to me for a long time. I mean, as I said, it took 8 years of doing it on my own. And then everything, when you're homeschooling, you're on one income, everything's for the kids, all the activities and things like that. And um, I just didn't think I could invest in myself. And it was a really struggle. And I don't think I've never not told my husband something, but I did that one time decide to do this and tell him after. And it felt really awkward actually. um, because, but it was a big number compared to, like just getting a manicure. So it wasn't like massively big, but it was definitely something that pushed into our budget a little bit. And so I realized as I felt like better, so much better, like in so many ways, that there was a person that I had lost in the process as I was losing energy. Um, I look back for 8 years, I have zero pictures of myself, hardly. I have like 10. I mean, maybe there's a few more, but I wasn't even knowingly hiding, but I was. And so it was kind of this gradual deflating. My personality was just kind of like in the sidelines with things, and that's not who I am. I forgot who I was. Like every
Mhm.
single year I was gaining 1 to 3 pounds and or more, and I think I would have been happy to lose 5 pounds. I think my first goal was 10 pounds, but it was really the lowest point because I was scared. I didn't know if it would work, and I was scared to tell my husband, which I did tell him, but it was a really weird like conflict for me. And I don't even have the exact words to be able to explain it. But I just took that step toward, I need to do this for me, like I'm doing this other stuff for everyone, and I'm really scared. And so I wasn't really scared about the money with my husband, that kind of thing. I was just really scared about my health. And
Right.
I wanted to work on it without using doctors and things like that. It was weird. I mean, like when I look back, I'm basically a happy person. I've had different things that were low, but that was a big low for me.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, Esther, being vulnerable about it. And I know you know this, but I just want to remind you that you most certainly were worthy of investing in yourself. You deserve what came with that. And quite frankly, it sounds like that investment was the beginning of a huge dramatic shift in your life that
Hmm.
God blessed and continues to bless. So never doubt that you were worthy to do that. I know it was difficult at the time, and um, it's amazing the transformation that comes sometimes when we take a leap of faith like that. I take it that you, tell me if I'm wrong, do you do discovery calls with potential clients?
Yeah, they're health goals calls, and so I do like complimentary 20 minutes and just help people kind of dig a little deeper, see where they're at, and see if they're ready. You know, some people are ready because like they have a problem. Some people want to learn more, but you kind of know when you're ready, you know, and you
Yeah.
just want to see if you're a good fit with someone and it might work. So yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you do that through, do you book those through your website?
They do. They can DM me through Messenger, Esther Beal, or connect with me through my website. Yeah, and you have that. So, um,
Yeah.
and we can schedule based on their convenience. It's a Zoom call, takes 20 minutes or something like that. So, and it's really
Yeah.
informative. I think, you know, either way, I want someone to come out with it realizing kind of what their real goals are. You know, they usually, the weight loss is a symptom to more things that we want, the energy, the confidence, and um, having more clothes that fit and all that stuff, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we'll include how to find Esther in the description after the interview. Esther, I want to thank you for sharing not just about your business, so that's an important part of it, but sharing about your family, sharing about homeschooling and pickleball, just really giving us an insight to the overall life and person that you are. It's been really, really fun talking to you and letting the viewers get to know you. What would you leave those that are watching? Because they're not just watching now, they're going to be watching, you know, for the next 30 days. What would be a word of encouragement you would leave folks with?
I would say you're you're worth, you know, don't settle. Like if you're feeling this stirring in your heart that, you know, um, and you like felt like you're unworthy, don't settle. Like you don't really know how what the other side is like. You don't even know him or her. And take the next step. Just take one little next step, and it's honestly not as scary as you think. And so, um, I just want to encourage you that your health is your wealth. It's your treasure. Everything in your life will get better when you focus on this. It's like a cornerstone. So just take the next step, one little step, and go exercise every day for 10 minutes, or start drinking your water, or I don't know, just take one little step. And when you're ready to make a bigger shift, then get support. But yeah, don't settle, because there is hope and you can make a change in this area if you really desire it in your heart. So I hope that's encouraging to someone.
I actually love that. Thank you. I got two things powerfully out of that. Don't settle, take one step.
Mhm.
And I have a talk that I do from stage where I say that very thing. Just take one small step. I
Mhm.
believe it was Martin Luther King Jr. that said, "You don't have to see the entire staircase. All you have to do is take one step today." And so,
Yeah,
Esther, thank you. Thank you so much for
thank
being with
you.
us today. It's been an honor. You're a treasure. Thank you for how many people you're helping and the way you're helping them. Thank you for being with us today.
Oh, thank you. It's such a delight. We were a perfect match in this, what you're doing, what we're doing. So God bless. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you. Guys, I just want to be your reminder today that you are worthy. I bet you no one has told you that today, that you're worthy of love, respect, and success. And your story is being beautifully woven right now, and your story is not over yet. Isn't that encouraging? Just start today on your new journey. We're here to help, we're here to give resources. God is not done with your story yet. Guys, stay blessed. We'll be talking to you soon. Take care.